It's time for the movie rating, and this time we have a writer. Tonight's victim, Victor Miller, wrote the screenplay for the original Friday the 13th. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. So you got some new projects going on. What's up?
Well, after, let's see, I haven't written anything except emails for the last 6 years. And I was at the Big Bear Horror Film Festival last October and met a whole bunch of people. I liked the whole deal, and I'm going to be going back again this October. But met some people, among whom was a producer-writer named Michael Coulomb, and we picked up email correspondence and Facebook and stuff, and we started talking about maybe doing a project together, and he found another writer, Martin Rogers, and the three of us are writing a scary movie on Skype and in Dropbox. And it's the first time I've attempted to write a screenplay in a group, though for 25 years I wrote soap opera this way, and it's been more fun than I've had, I can't tell you, in a long time.
No. Is this pretty much an independent film, or is it you actually going to try to get this to be pretty much in theaters?
Oh, I have no idea. Right now we're just experimenting with the. I mean, we've got a storyline. We started with one storyline, which we all decided was not going to fly because it was too much like a whole lot of other stuff that all of us had seen. Plus, it kept giving me flashbacks of Friday the 13th, and I've already done that. So we came up with a whole new concept, and we're just sort of floating along. And if we can sell it, that would be great. I think if the finished screenplay is as good as the outline that we've got so far, I think we could sell it, and I think it could be really fun. And we've spent 3 or 4 months just really finding a way to work together. Because it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's an unnatural act for three people to write a movie together. Mm-hmm. But as I said, I spent 25 years doing soap opera this way, so I'm very easy with it. It's more like improvisational theater than it is screenwriting, because screenwriters are notoriously lonely fellows that sit by themselves and every word they write, they're convinced is gold and don't want anybody to change it. And here we are, three people saying, "Well, I don't know whether I like your scene. Well, I don't know whether I like your scene." And so far, we've been doing really well with it. We'll see what happens when we get to actual dialogue. We haven't even gotten to dialogue yet. We're just basically working out all the beats.
No. Do you get when you do a film like this? Do you actually get some from freedom doing writing as for a film? Or even the TV shows that you do?
This is the most freedom I've ever had, what we're doing now, because it's kind of spooky to say it, but I don't need the money. So as a young writer, there was always the idea that if I didn't sell something, I was going to starve. So I have never had this kind of freedom. I guess the last time I was this free, I was writing poetry in high school, and also doing short stories in college, where you just wrote anything you wanted. And here, I mean, basically, I'm writing whatever pleases me and the two other guys that we like, and we keep. What's nice is so far I've seen that writing this way, they make me better. Because I can't just sit there and grab my first idea and say, "Oh, this is good," because we sit there and we hammer out these things on Skype, and I just keep going back into the process, saying, "Well, no, maybe we can do better than that one." And so the project, I'm really happy with it, and I'm feeling very fulfilled, to the point where I've dropped out of. I had been doing a lot of photography and stuff, and that was my creative outlet. And now it's pretty much this film at this point.
You ever thought about doing some directing?
Never.
Never?
Never. The few times, actually not the few times, I've been on a lot of movie sets and television sets, and I cannot think of any more boring way to spend your life than to be waiting between scenes for for the lighting and the sound and the actors and the costume and the makeup and the, oh God, I'm just not built that way. I'm ADHD. I was ADHD before it was invented, and my God, the idea. I mean, just the making everybody be quiet, and then they have to all sit still, and then you say, well, I'm willing to take the first take of almost anything because I just want to get on the hell with whatever we're doing, and yet you're going to go on to take number 27 because the lighting wasn't quite right, or there was a shadow across somebody's nipple, and oh Lord, it's just I don't want to be anywhere near it. I want to write it, I want to think about it, I want to imagine it, and then I want to go to the opening.
You want to have your time. That's what you want.
Oh yeah, God. I mean, it's just. But that's why there are certain kinds of people born in this world, and they're called directors, and there are other kind of people called producers, and they're pretty horrible, and then there are writers like me who are just nuttier than fruitcakes.
And some do both, writing and directing.
I know, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, those are those guys who I didn't like at high school either, where they. They labored over everything, and I shoot from the hip, and you really have to tie me down to make me do rewrites.
Yeah, especially like all the retakes and retakes and retakes, and then you got to edit all that. You almost feel sorry for the cameraman.
Oh, I feel sorry for everybody involved, but they all seem to like it. I mean, some people love Winnebagos.
No,
I can't think of anything worse. If you can't put me in a hotel or a nice motel, I don't want to be in some truck.
Yeah, I know. with a camera, especially with a crew.
Oh, please. Yeah. I think I'd go back to drinking if I had to do that.
Yeah. Well, with this new film, is this going to be pretty much on a location, or do you pretty much consider?
Well, Martin's got a location up in Montana that we're thinking of using, and we just have some exteriors and then a whole bunch of interiors, and it could all be done up where he lives or anywhere. I mean, at this point, we are not limiting ourselves, though I must say that the locations Martin had seemed like a good place to start. So we just actually, I don't know, we seem to be feeding each other a lot, and I'll leave stupid notes in the Dropbox for us, and then I'll get a note back from Martin that says, "Oh, that was cool. I think we can add this and we can do that and that." Yeah, and it's terrific. And what's most interesting for me is because one of the reasons I have not attempted to get back into the horror business in the last 15 or 20 years anyway is that I was born in 1940. I'm 71 now, and I don't think I have a lot of the chops for writing for today's audience. I know, I'm a really good craftsman. I know how to put together a piece of drama and make it work. But there's a lot of the sort of the sentiment that goes into the demographic that's going to movies now, and the dialogue and the things that turn them on, and these kinds of things. There's nothing worse than an old guy trying to fake being cool for young people. And so here I am working. Martin's like 24, and I think Michael's in his early 30s. So we've got the demographics covered. So if it's like when I talk to my sons and I attempt to be cool, and they go, "Oh, Dad, come on," so that we keep each other honest. I don't try to write or understand what's going on in the average 22-year-old head. But I can tell you what makes a good scene and what elements you need, and things like that.
Yeah, everything's all poppy now. Let's.
Yeah, evidently, and these guys have a lot of production experience. I mean, Michael's been a script editor on a lot of shows and a lot of movies, and Martin does all kinds of location work and technical stuff, and so I just say, look, I'd like blood dripping down from this thing over here, and they say, "Oh God, we can do that with blah blah or X or Y or Z or things." I say, "Fine, call me when you figured it out."
It's like, I told you what I said. Now get back to me whenever.
Yeah, because I like to just think of things on the screen. I don't want to know how you do them. It'll slow me up.
Yeah, it's almost like when a new film is being premiered, like something like on DirecTV or whatever you use. They show behind the scenes before the film is really promoted in theaters. It's like I don't want to see that till I see the film, man.
Even well, there's that, but I never watch those. What I do see is even on public broadcasting, which usually does pretty good stuff. The what used to be in the old days a cold opening. You see the titles, and then you go right in. Here's some detective wandering around and finding a dead body. But now they show you 60 seconds of the best cuts they can find, the best clips they can find from the entire 90-minute show.
Yep.
So I am now seeing pieces before I'm supposed to even see the show. It's like a trailer gone wild.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see the trailer right before the movie. I would like to see it the way it was written, the way it was intended, the way it was directed, not the way some PR guy had figured out. Here are the 10 best, most interesting visuals in the movie, and I'm going to use them all up in a nonsense way. It's insane. My wife and I, if there were a way to make the screen go black instantly without turning off the entire rig, that would be great, because then I could say, I don't want to see this. It's like I mute stuff that I don't want to hear until it's dramatically I'm supposed to hear it.
Yeah. Sometimes they even show footage of the last scene from the film.
Absolutely, which is insanity. I mean, there was a great what's his name was Chris Elliott's father, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding. Bob and Ray were fabulous radio pair of clowns in the 50s and 60s and later. And they used to have a running soap opera, radio soap opera that they did, like 6 minutes a day of. And they were doing things like they'd end on a cliffhanger where the guy comes in with a gun and says, "All right, I'm here to kill you all." And then the announcer comes in and says, "Well, tune in tomorrow to hear Bob say, bang, well, I guess I've killed them all." So that you state the dramatic, the hanging cliffhanger, and then you answer it so that there's no suspense for tomorrow.
Yeah, now they just leaves it up to someone being pregnant.
Yeah, and that's, well, now they do it, and when I was working at ABC, we would work our butts off to find a really good tag for Friday especially, but every day to have a tag that would make the person, the viewers, want to come back the next day and see what the outcome was. And then, sure enough, the publicity department that had nothing to do with us would snag the good stuff out of the following day and throw that up on the screen as a preview of coming attractions. So it would answer the question that we had left hanging in the same day. So it was exactly what Bob and Ray had been parodying long before we got that bad. So it was, anyway, I'm glad that I'm retired.
Are you sure you're retired, man? You sure you're not going to come back? A lot of people say that, but Michael Jordan did like 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, no, this is. I'm just having fun now doing this thing. I don't know what we'll do.
Well, what about theater? Have you go back to theater?
Oh no, God, oh, Lord! I mean, that just gives me the chills. I did playwriting, and that was crazy. And I don't know. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I read people's screenplays. I critique them for them, and I talk to people who want to write stuff, and that's fun. And now I'm actually making up stuff with these other guys, which is fun. And I don't think the screenplay is going to be finished for another year at the rate we're going, which is fine, because this is one of the first times where I don't have a deadline, because I used to write as fast as I could because I needed the money.
Yeah, well, it's completely understandable, man. You got to get the money somehow. And
yeah.
I mean, even Wes Craven, I believe I got that correct, that when he did Hills Have Eyes, the
right.
second one, because he needed the money. That's what he said.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I met him in Sean's kitchen before, between